So, while I am super passionate about many topics related to insurance, one of the most passionate, opinionated topics I have is about your business entity, but specifically your EIN. Hi, I'm Amy Plano, the reimbursement dietitian, and I help dietitians just like you get credentialed, build the shit out of insurance, and make the money they deserve. And in order to make the money you deserve, you have to have your business entity set up correctly. And today, in this quick video, I wanted to take you through 3 reasons why you want to make sure you have your business set up properly 100% before starting the credentialing process. So let's get to it. So your EIN, your employer identification number, is the number you will be putting on every single insurance claim. It is super important because it will communicate to the insurance companies what entity essentially they are paying, right? So think about your EIN like your social security for your business. And the intention with the insurance company is when you fill out a W-9, is on the W-9 will have your EIN. First things first, when you are setting up your business entity and you're sitting down with a tax professional in your state, because in every single state it is different. Say you're in California, your business entity has to be different than if you're in New York. It has to be different than if you're then in Connecticut. So you're going to sit down with a tax professional 100% because the business entity that you set up is going to have tremendous bearing on, in some states, who you can bill and if you are committing a felony. So if you have the wrong business entity set up in a certain states, you can actually be convicted of a felony because the way we are classified as dietitians is very specific. So we've got that aside. So business entity is super important, right? If you want to go over to reimbursementdietitian.com, I have a whole section on resources. So we're not going to cover business entities, but we are talking about EINs today. So your EIN is like an employer identification number. It is required and it will go on your W-9. What we want to talk about today is that number one, we do not want that EIN to change. And we need to have the right EIN when we start the credentialing process. The reason being, if we change business entities and our EIN changes, the insurance companies see us as a new entity, and some will make us recontract under the new EIN, and this can take some time. So I want to use 3 points to illustrate my personal experience with this because I think it will drive home the point. And why it is important to drive home the point is I feel like I have this conversation with hundreds of dietitians each year and nobody listens to me. So sometimes when I tell my story and the shit that happened to me, when you hear my story, you may not want to do that. So, and just remember, when you get your EIN, you want to save your CP 577. That is a form from the IRS. And on the form from the IRS, they will never send you that again. So you have to save that. So when you apply for your EIN, the IRS will generally email you. So check your spam, a CP 577, and you want to make sure that you save that. Okay. So lesson number one, when I was audited by the IRS in 2017 for not only my 2015 taxes, but my 2015 and my 2016 taxes, because I was not properly set up, I was a sole proprietor at the time, making a decent amount of money. It allowed the IRS to go into all of my business accounts because there was no legal separation between myself and the business. During an audit, it allowed them to go into all things personal and all things professional, and they did. So business entities setting you up, a lot of dietitians will say, I don't have assets to protect, or I don't have this. Take my example, and I will tell you single-handedly, I have been through a lot of shit in my practice, and I would put losing my mother and the IRS audit as the top two worst things that I've ever experienced. So whether or not you have assets to protect, you want to make sure that your business entity is completely separate from you. So whatever that looks like in your state, you definitely want to do that. So assets or not, it opens up a whole new level of liability. So that's number one. Number two, okay. So like I always say, and I think people don't believe me, if shit will go wrong once, it will generally go wrong not once, but twice in my practice. So I by accident changed my EIN probably like in 2017, 2018. What that did was it forced the insurance companies to issue all new contracts. And so because they see a new EIN as a entirely new business, it's super important to know if you change your EIN or your business structure after you have started the credentialing process, in certain scenarios, it's like starting from scratch. Okay. So that's number two. In number three, well, let's finish number two. Then once I switched my business entity legally, I think by the time we were done with the audit, I want to say it's like 2018, 2019. It lasted a long time. And then we became S Corps. And then we had a whole new EIN. So not only did I have to change my EIN once, I changed it twice. And when I tell you it was a total shitstorm, I am not lying. And that leads me into point three, which is while something seemingly easy, like updating your EIN with the insurance companies, seems like a simple form you need to fill out in a relatively simple process, in my personal experience, I think I did not get paid by Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is my biggest payer in Connecticut, for probably 6 to 7 months, because every single time we went to submit a claim, which is probably like 400 times per month, there was a mismatch of our EIN with our group NPI. So it took forever to have that updated. And once again, that happened not once, but twice. So I know there is a lot of conversation about this. I tend to stay out of most conversations, but when I see other dietitians and CNSs telling you guys that it is easy to change your business entity and to change your EIN, and it's easy peasy, no problems at all, I can single-handedly tell you, based on those three experiences, an IRS audit, not getting paid for 2 to 3 months. And then what was the other one? Oh, recontracting. Those are the three things that I learned that were not super fun that you don't have to go through. So in summary, this is a very unsexy topic, but in summary, if you are a dietitian thinking you want to credential with the insurance companies, you have to sit down with a legal professional, determine your business entity based on your state. Remember, that is going to be very different in certain states. And in certain states, you have to be a certain business entity. And obviously, I'm not a legal or a tax expert. And number three, we want to make sure that that EIN is the same EIN for the rest of your career with billing insurance. So hopefully this video helped. These are topics that we go in detail in my coaching program. So if you have your EIN, your business entity set up, and you are ready to rock and roll insurance, I am your girl. I am the OG. I have been billing insurance since 2007, which at this point is about 20 years. So I don't think anybody else on this planet knows MNT and insurance better than this girl here. So if you liked what you heard today and you want more of it, and you're interested in getting credentialed, billing the shit out of insurance and making the money you deserve, go to the link below this video, put in an application, and if you are a good fit, you will hear from me soon. So Thanks so much for listening to me ramble on a super unsexy but important topic. And I'll see you guys next week.